Well, hey YouTube, it's Monday afternoon, and get you caught up. Not a whole lot has been done since the last time we spoke, but I will share just a few minor details here. Got the battery in, got it charging up, got the alternator bracket, and got the alternator mounted in there. That little black bracket right there, oops, right there, mounts to where the generator would have mounted. So works out really nice, and then obviously it lines up perfectly. The good news is the kit with the bracket and, well, the engine block bracket and then also this top bracket, it comes with this spacer, and it also comes with the replacement pulley to match your water pump and your drive. Or your crankshaft pulley down there, so that's pretty cool. As I was putting the battery in, this has been converted to 12 volt, obviously with the alternator there. But one thing that I will share is that if you see right here, these little, I guess these angle brackets on the battery plate, well, when you go to put in a 12 volt battery, you can see this one here is sitting on top. The battery is too wide, and I can't find a battery that will actually sit down in there. This is a 600 CCA cold cranking edge, 24 amp. It's a pretty good battery. I mean, but you know, I can't find anything that's a little bit smaller than that will actually fit in between those brackets. You know, obviously there's another set on that side and then over here. The only other ones I can find are very, very small. About the size of an old 6 volt, you know, those lantern batteries. Or they're actually almost a square. And so, you know, the options are, you know, mount up a piece of wood in there or something like that. So what I've done is I went ahead and lined it back here, and then I've got it sitting just right on the top of that bracket there, and it actually sits down in a little bit of a groove in the battery. So, and I didn't crank the straps down real hard, so obviously we'll have to make sure we're not bouncing around, you know, real hard. And I did put the negative side over where it will hit if it does puncture through there for whatever reason. I think it's going to be okay, but just a word of caution here. I still need to splice or get a longer battery cable for the positive lead to run over, and then I actually need to get a couple of ground straps, because the ground strap that I had going from the engine plate to the block and then over to the negative. Right now I'm just relying on that one that's going from the engine mount over to the frame, and then originally there would have been one going from that same mount hole back to that bolt. Problem of it is I can't use that bolt on the side of the front engine plate there, and you'll see it right below the silver looking bolt on the engine plate there. I can't use that for a mounting or a ground strap location because that new plate sticks out too far. So I can't get to that bolt anymore. I went ahead and left that bolt there, and that is for the front, the original generator bracket, just to keep the originality there. And then you see here, there's the original bracket for what would have been the original starter. Now that's a replacement starter. Obviously a 75-year-old starter ain't gonna probably work, and it's probably been rebuilt 1,000 times. So this is not the original starter. Otherwise, that angle bracket would pretty much go sideways. You'd have a bolt, and then that would be your ground location for your starter. So we're gonna find out real quick when we go to turn the key if that starter doesn't work, and we'll know right away that I need to get another ground strap just to run from that bracket to that one, and then I think everything will be all right. Still having a lot of trouble with that handbrake. What they had done when the Jeep was provided to me is they had like a washer with a cutout in it, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But it was kind of sitting around that as kind of like a collar. And when I, you know, mounted it up underneath on the transfer case and the transmission engine mount there, or frame mount, I've got everything all set up in the spring and everything in the tension. I just can't figure out how to get that mounted up in there. So a little bit more research. And I think that, like I said in the previous video, I think that's not the original cable. That's quite a bit longer than what it should have. And then it should mount, kind of have a little bit of a clip or something that goes on the side of where the bell housing mounts on the side of the transmission or the engine block there. There's a little hole to put like a collar grommet or something in there. So a little bit more research on that. Got antifreeze in it and just waiting, making sure that, you know, there's no leaks or anything like that. Word of caution when you're putting antifreeze in, make sure your petcock is closed. Ask me how I know. Got about 2 quarts in there before I heard some trickling. I went, oh no. And luckily it was just that petcock down there. So a little bit of a leak. And that's just that antifreeze you see on the floor there. That's just residual. Once that drips all out, then I'll get it wiped up and everything like that. But I'd rather have oil on the floor. You get antifreeze on the ground. It's pretty much like a skating rink, and then obviously it's going to stain your concrete like that. So I got some scrubbing to do in here after all is said and done when we get this Jeep out of here. I did disconnect the horn. I'll play around with that a little bit more, see if I can't hook it up. One of the commenters on the previous video said maybe hook it up to a 6-volt battery and see if it works. I'll try that, but for now I'm just going to disconnect it, and then if I can't get it to working, then maybe just the interest of having a horn, I'll get one of those little motorcycle horns, and there's a couple of holes here where you can just mount one right there, and then these will connect right up to it. And I think they're only like 10 bucks or something, you know, just to have a beeper. And if that works, then we know the horn button works and everything like that. Now the horn button, when I tested it, it works because I'm getting power down at the at both of these, as well as when I put the horn button contact down in the steering column. The wire and everything was good. It was just that contact was worn. So more to come on that. We'll keep on working on that. As you see the blue tape, yes, I still need to do the wrapping up with the timing and getting everything static timed and everything like that, and then get the spark plugs torqued down and get all the wires on there, and then we'll do the first start here probably this week, next week. Still need to get gas, obviously, and so forth. Got steering wheel on, yes, and I am pretty much 100% complete down in that area. The only thing I need to do is just put the master cylinder brake reservoir cap on it. Right now I've got it open just to make sure. I did bleed the brakes, but I want to make sure any residual air can just over time work out and get up and out if it needs to. In a couple of days I'll go ahead and put that cap on, tighten it down, and then put that brake cover back on. And then tomorrow I did go ahead and order the they call them a excuse me, draft seal. So that's the little rubber kind of booty thing in the spring and the washer that goes on the back side of the firewall of that hole, and then your brake and your clutch pedal shaft for the pedals go through those spring, washer, and that rubber grommet, and that keeps it from slamming up against the, and I'll show you just what it does. You can hear it clicking. So I'm gonna adjust that, and then I do need to adjust the clutch under there just one last final time to make sure I got, you know, all the tension off that throwout bearing. Let's see, I've got 2 screws I still need to put in the seal for the cowl seal there, and then excuse me, I asked the owner if he had the original mirror for the passenger side, and no, he didn't. So this is the one that was on the passenger side, so I mounted that over here and everything's all fine, and ordered a new one. And before I actually got the package, the owner found the mirror that came off of this side. So what I did was I took the round mirror, mounted it on the new you know, arm and adapter here. And I went to put it on, and none of the damn holes line up. There's no way to fix that other than flip those around upside down and see if that can work. So I'll try that. If not, those holes aren't going to line up. They ain't going to have a passenger side mirror. On this side, you can see that's how it should be. So I don't know what happened here on the passenger side. You know, maybe take these little L brackets and flip them over so the, well, I don't know how I'd get to the bolts then. Well, dilemma. All right. So there's something to figure out there, but there's the holes for it. Just got to figure out, you know, how those mount up and why that's like that. No matter how I lay it on there, I cannot get those to line up. So try it this way, try it this way, try it that way. Yeah, it ain't gonna work. So I have to figure something out there. Let's see here. Oh, I got the, so when I got the alternator box, I did get that little, like the M38s have for the dash lights, the little shield. Thinking that would just clip right around this high beam indicator. You know, it's much larger, so it's not going to work there. So no worries, not much money. And then here's the old skinny alternator pulley, and you can see it's almost not even as wide as my finger. The new ones, I could actually put almost my thumb in there. So the belt rides way down in the groove pretty well. Oh, the hood welt. All right, here's a fun one. So the hood welt is basically that fabric duck cloth oiled, you know, stuff. And basically what you get is a long strip of it. And then you have to use your awl and you have to poke the holes into where you're gonna put the rivets. Now, what it comes with, and what originally would have been on this Jeep, are these little tiny rivets like this, okay? Tried using those, and those are just a pain in the yaher. So, gonna go with an actual rivet and a rivet gun and get them down in there. Now I went ahead and sized one, and I do need to get a shorter, some shorter rivets. Those are long, and so I need to get some shorter ones. So, and they're gonna go right in the groove, as you can see, just like those other ones. So I'm gonna do something that's not original, but it's gonna work out a hell of a lot better and be much more secure there on that. Basically, you just set that in there. There's plenty of videos out there how to do it. And a lot of you already have done this before, but basically, you know, you just line them up, start with one, get your rivets in there, and then awl it across. And then the hard ones are that one right down there and this one right here. So actually the fender is supposed to come off, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come from the back side and get that one. So not a problem, and that's on this side as well. But that'll seal that up, and that'll keep the metal to metal contact to a minimum, and keep that from, you know, eating away at the hood or on the original grill. And that's just one little extra item I figured we better do. As I showed you before, the lights work. Everything's in there all nice and tight, no silicone or anything like that. Brakes have been adjusted, got the field alignment done. So I didn't use a laser or anything like that. I used the old school trick with the yardstick, measuring tape, whatever, and some string, and there you go. Now the other way you can do it is you can get a laser pointer, and you can actually stick it on the side there, magnet on it, on the rear wheels, and then come up on a wall or something, put the dot where the laser is hitting, and then do the same thing on the back rear wheel, on the front. And I'm talking about the rear wheel now, but put it on the front and the back, and then wherever those dots line up on, they should be close, because that means your rear wheel is sitting flush and it's not bent or anything. Then you come up and you do the exact same thing on the front, and wherever that dot moves, if it moves towards the inside, that means you got toe in, so you got to come out. If the dot's over here, you got to move it back in, and that's just adjusting your, now you can't adjust the camber on these, but you can adjust your toe in and toe out, and that's what those tie rods are. So I got the field alignment all done, and got everything tightened up, and tested the steering, and the steering wheel, when the wheels were off the ground, I checked it out. The way I got the steering wheel, I'm not sure if that's correct, but I put it like that, like a peace sign. So I'm not sure if that center one is supposed to be down, or, you know, it's supposed to be like a Y, but I figured I'd, you know, mount it like that, so that's up, and you know that's straight. And if it comes over here, well, you know, you got something to stick your fingers in, now you're driving down the road straight. So anyway, all right, got the license plates on. All that overspray was from when they did the primer on the, you know, the paint job thing, or whatever they tried to do when I got the vehicle. So I couldn't get that off without ruining the white and the reflective stuff on there. So went ahead and left that alone. Neat thing is, a piece of PVC pipe, sprinkler pipe here, 3/4 inch, as you can see, stuck right down in that hole for the bimini top. So, and I, you know, there you go. Got a flag on there. Obviously it's on the right, rear right. And there you go. So American made, got an American made flag on it. And I didn't check the PVC pipe. I'm sure that's probably made in Mexico or something. Oh, look at that, made in America, rock on. Okay, we're 100%, there you go. Old Glory flies proud. And she's off the ground, she's not hitting the wheel or anything, there you go. Rear end differential is all done. Got the lubrication in it, and it's got a little bit of a backlash on it. That's more so to do with the axles and the spider gears that we did not replace, but the ring and pinion is back in, and I got the rear axle mounted up and everything like that. And then I'm not sure if I showed you all this before, but hang on, I know you saw the seats, I'll come back. But when I was putting on that shifter boot for the transfer case, I went to take that knob off and it just disintegrated in my hand. So like I said, I need to get him another one of those knobs. And that one there is the original, and then it's just that same coating that's on here and also on the shifter knob. So a little bit of 300 sandpaper and clean right up. All right, all righty, there it is. Got to clean them up. Probably some OxyClean and just a toilet brush or something like that, and then spray them off, and that'll lighten those right back up. But that is the duck cloth, and I got a couple of bends here, down here where the seats, and I'll probably go ahead and clean them up and then maybe touch paint them just real quick. On the back sides here, I know the light isn't real good. Let me see if I can't turn this over so I can show you. You know, they're not in bad shape. That's just dirt and crud from where they were sitting outside at the owner's house. But, you know, got one of the screw holes was stripped out there, and also that one, darn it. Anyway, so yeah, I'll probably pull those off real quick and see if I can't. What's going on with this screw? It's not even in the hole. So I'll see if I can't just clean that up just real quick. Maybe blast it with some paint just to get it shiny again. But that duck cloth, actually, if I take that off, no, I'm thinking while I'm talking. Never mind. I was thinking about taking it off and maybe putting it in the washing machine. But the problem with that is I can't do that with the bottom, and I don't want to have two different colors. So the bottom is in real good shape, and you can see the bolts. So these, I don't think they're the original seats, obviously. Pretty good reproductions there, but like I said, I just need to straighten up a couple of pieces on the brackets, but they do sit and they mount right in there. And you can see how tall those seats sit. I mean, that's a good 9 inches of cushion. So the back isn't too bad. That's probably about 4 inches or so, but the bottom, boy, And look at how close you are going to be to the steering wheel. I mean, that steering wheel is going to be right in your lap. And yeah, I'm not too sure I can fit in this at all. So we'll see. Let's see here. Oh, one last thing, and I know I can't close the hood real far with the, oh, while I'm here, this was the old, I don't know, grill grate or something that they had kind of for a rear rack. So they had drilled through and then they mounted it in here. And then they had those cushions. I don't know what those are. That's just like some boat fabric or something. But they had one that was mounted on the, on this grill thing. And then they had the back one somehow mounted up on here. I think they just went through a couple of holes there where it says Willys. I think they just had, and then it, you know, it didn't set flush because you have the bolts sitting across here for the fuel carrier and then your spare tire carrier that's over here. But anyway, I don't know, I'm okay putting the rack back in there because that's, you know, it's not a big thing. But oh, this, anyway. All right, so here's what I was going to show you. We have named it. So Mr. Lopez is 1 and Mrs. Lopez is 2, and it's El Chaco. So we named it the Jackal. It's gray, kind of like a gray fox. I thought it was kind of cool. Just some leftover stickers I had from a previous project, and you know, black and red. It's kind of neat. So anyway, she's looking really sharp. I know I've just blasted the videos in the past couple of weeks, but I just want to keep a video log of what's going on. I don't have them out here right now, but when we started this project, you know, aside from, you know, getting a paint and all that kind of process that was going to happen. But anyway, we started the project, we definitely want to document everything, and we definitely want to make sure that we took video log, and we also kept all of our receipts and kept a, not so much a journal, but just kind of a itemized listing of serial numbers that we discovered and, you know, things that are unique to this actual vehicle. Well, we've done all of that, and actually have got binders that have, you know, binder number 1 as an example is all the financial records. So we kept a running list of, you know, aggregate value of the purchase price, and then also of all the parts that we purchased to put onto the vehicle. And that doesn't include stuff that's like, you know, hey, you know, I wasted $1.50 on something like that and we're not going to be able to use it. That's not in there. But what is in there is everything replaced: the bearings, the seals, the rings, piston, the rods, the, you know, whatever is in here that the ring and pinion that we replaced. That there is a running total on that, including the paint, the primer, and the Zero Rust. I've still got a couple of cans over there that is the gloss, and one about a half can of the flat that we used on the frame and everywhere else. So you know, kept a list of all of that, and then we've got another binder with the video logs. So we're gonna make sure that we keep, you know, obviously the pictures and the videos will be on there, so you can, you know, sit down for 3 or 4 days and watch all the YouTube videos. And then let's see, and then we got another binder in there with the specifications. So we've got the original specifications what a CJ2A should have. And that includes the Go Devil engine, the specs, the, you know, Bork strokes, all that kind of stuff. And then what the axles and transfer case, and then we actually annotated on there what the gearing ratio is and anything else that we discovered then, you know, in the mild restoration that we did, just to make sure that, you know, hey, they're not all made the same. And of course, when you're dealing with the 75, 76-year-old vehicle, you're going to find some unique things that the previous owner or owners have done, you know, to the particular Jeep that you're working on. Case in point, this funky little hole that's and this little bolt and nut that's there. You know, what is this kind of stuff for? We don't know. We left it alone. And, you know, as we discovered other things, like the rear end, the rear axle should be a Dana 41, and it's not. It's a Dana 23.2. and it is a full floating, so you can see the axles actually come out of the side there. Every other CJ2A 1946 I've seen, now, this is early 1946, but every other one that I've seen has the data 41, and they actually have the little hub thing back there. And this actually still has the Duomatic hubs on it. And you know, I actually downloaded a bunch of information on how to rebuild those, how to pack them with grease, how to inspect them, and got all of that into the specification binder as well. So as the week progresses here and on into next week, what you're probably going to see is, fingers crossed, the key will have turned one time to see if it'll turn over. And then we'll go ahead and get that distributor fired up. We'll go ahead and plug it in and see if she'll fire. And after that, we will see if she'll actually start. And then once, you know, the kind of break-in, idling, revving period is done, you know, give it about 20 minutes, half an hour running. Then, you know, test the brakes obviously again, and then back it out and see if we can't drive it down the block and see how she does. And then we'll come back in and do any kind of final tweaks and tunes that we need to do. And I'm just thinking positively here. I'm thinking it's going to turn over fine. You all know that when you get done with the project, the most critical part and the thing that gives you the sleepless night right before is when you go to turn that key after a good rebuild. So that's the only thing I think I've been worrying about in the past, well, little while here, is just, you know, is there something that I forgot? Is there something out there that is going to break on us? And I don't think so, because we followed the book, we followed the service and the mechanics manual. And anytime there was a hiccup of where we couldn't find information, we actually went to the chats and the forums that are out there. Thanks to those of you on Old Willie's forum. You know, I'm not a frequent visitor, but whenever I got stuck, I would post something, and it was a matter of probably 2 hours. Somebody wrote me back, and it wasn't, you know, wasn't because they were close to me. It was because they had worked on something like this before, or they had one. And I've had comments back from as far away from, I'm in California, so I've had people write me back within 2 hours. I posted something at like 9:30 at night, 10 o'clock at night, my time. Somebody in New Jersey fires right back out, and my phone blinks, and I go, I'll be darned, that's how you do it. Okay, so thank you all. Definitely been a good forum. Definitely been a good community out there. You all know that Jeep owners are it's a solid brotherhood out there and sisterhood. So, you know, we're talking about an American vehicle here. This is the original, and that flag is on there for a reason. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll wrap this one up. We'll talk to you as soon as I can, a couple of days or so, and I'll probably chat with you just right before I do the turning of the key, and then I'll definitely get the video when we actually turn the key and see if she turns over and fires for us. So, all right, folks, have a wonderful evening, a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.